Hachomni, Kumita Gatan number 8. You're getting to the realms now where I know the attack series is important in other ones because of my, but especially with Tsugi Sokoto, you really need to understand your distance for the UK. So let's go ahead, give you the examples and then break it down.
So there's a couple of points to look out for as the attacker, as Azuke. Once you've taken your stance, it's quite a large movement to get the body around to make the Yokogiri. So the way you can short circuit this a little is to start to turn the hips in advance. And you can probably cover about 30% of the hip movement almost subtly and sneakily without Tori noticing what you're doing. So the idea is you leave the upper body where it is, but very slowly, very gently turn the hips till you're ready to move. Once you get to the full extent of the rotation that you can manage, don't hold. What you're trying to do is wind a spring. So once you reach, then go. It's also important to set up the correct Sugihashi distance. You're not really sure, although this is a set-piece kumite and you know that what the defence is going to be, in a real-life application you wouldn't necessarily know what Tori was going to do. So you need to make your Sugihashi correct so that you reach the kicking distance to where Tori is, not where you hope he's going to be. So a couple of little points to look out for when you're using the attack in this waza.
Okay, on the Tori side, make sure you're using your hip as well, and compress the, okay, so that you can. If you are doing this from scratch, then Yurakan and then moving. But if you're more experienced, try and get this move together. So it's not 1, 2, but it's an opening. Yeah, and also try and bring your body and your arm down. So 1, 2. Next thing to look at is, because you've turned them so much, you're covering from this half for a keri. But if this person spins to do your Rakan or MP, you need to make sure your hands are ready. So if you turn around. So the guy goes in, but then you cover in. Cover. Doesn't have to touch, because we can feel his movement on this hand. Since he starts to start to move, I can feel him move. So just have the hand there, ready to cover, and then move out. Try not to hold this arm stiff. Try and be actually as loose as possible, which forces me to go slightly higher to get it. But if you're an experienced Wado person, you you come in for the uke here, the hand should drop, which doesn't have the same braking position on it. Yeah, so try and take the arm slightly higher up, or biased to the body side, not here. In the crease, yes, to the elbow, but more biased to the bicep. When you do the Huracan, although the Huracan is a cutting action, usually Jodan, it's not a smashing technique. So you want to be cutting. So when you do the Huracan here, not slam it in, yeah, but yeah, make sure you're using this nice, loose, relaxed cutting action using this ridge. Not the back of the fist, but this ridge of knuckles.
So as we discussed in the breakdown of this technique, try and disguise your Sokoto with the subtle turn of the hips. As Sensei has explained, you should feel this whipping, cutting action striking just above the elbow. Painful technique. It gives you a little bit of one of those electric shock feelings up the arm. The beat should be, so the Huracan immediately followed by the Gakuzuki. For the drummers amongst you, think flam. They're as close together as you can possibly get them. And as discussed, if you can keep this arm relaxed when Tori comes in and takes the guard, it's less of a drop than if you're rigid, which tends to drag your head forward. So try and work with Tori and get them to get this whipping action 1-2, 1-2 in that sort of timing interval.